So hi friends, good afternoon. So today we are discussing about SQL in Salesforce. So we know that SQL like in remaining programming languages. So here also there is one powerful tool called SQL. So with that tool will get a data from the objects. Like SQL means simply Salesforce object query language. So object means what are the objects we have in Salesforce, standard and custom objects. So in what the data will be contained in the standard and custom objects. Query means we are getting the query from the from the objects. So what type of queries we have, like that we will implement in the session. So coming to point, I'm excited to come back for you to teaching about SQL queries. So today deeply we will go into understanding about SQL queries. I will teach you from basics to advanced techniques, what the SQL and all these things. So within the end of the session, you will know about how to write SQL queries and how can we optimize and what are the limitations of SQL queries and all these things. So coming to point, it is a powerful tool like which allows to get the data from the Salesforce objects, and this is similar to SQL. So it is a circular for developers and admins who works in the Salesforce data. Like SQL, whatever the code we are writing, some triggers will be there. We have to update after event. So if the data is there means it's saved before only. So from the next onwards we have to update means we'll get the data and we have to update. So like SQL stands, I given the definition, clear definition like Salesforce object query language. So within the definition you will get some clarification. Like it is used to fetch the records from Salesforce objects. Salesforce objects like accounts, contact, opportunities, and more, unlike SQL and SQL. See, and unlike SQL and SQL does not support operations like insert, update, or delete. Its primary purpose to query data efficiently. So, for example, we are writing a Salesforce query. So, small query like you have a object, account object. We have account object. We have amount field, or the total income field, or annual revenue field. So, simply we will code that select select annual revenue greater than 50,000. So simply it's statementing like select field name from object where condition and what the condition. I think you are getting my point, right? Like what I am saying means simply whenever you want to write a SQL query, so simply you have to mind that first you have to write select, then you have to go for the fields, whatever the fields you want, then use the from statement. After from statement you have to use the object which from which object you are getting, and where condition means whatever the condition you want, equal, not equal, true, less than, greater than, or you can use some inner query from the query to another query. Actually you have some query at upper location, you given that query name as condition. So within the condition if these fields are there then bring it or else not bring it. So that's it. For example, take an example like select name, industry from an account. See, I picked that first select name, industry. These two comes under from fields. So what is our formula? Select fields from object where condition. So like that only select name comma industry from object name. Here what I mentioned here mentioned about account. So where industry equals to technology. So within this query I will get whatever the accounts we have in an account object, or whatever the names or accountants we have in a account object. So automatically the accounts which are related to industry, then only you will get the then only you will get the related information. If you are not mentioning industry in a fields area, then automatically you won't get any related queries from the query statement. Simply, you have to mention whatever the condition you want to mention in the field. The field is to be mentioned at the field place. Then only we can write any condition. So simply, what I said means select name industry from a account where industry equals to technology. Then I will get all the technology accounts in a my SQL query. So like, how can we filter the data? Like I said, where statement. Like where statement allows to like we need what type of support we need from the queries. Like see, we have equals and we have greater than and we have less than, like, in, out, and everything we have. Like see, um, for example, take an example. We have many of the operators to get the proper data whatever we require. Mainly SQL queries are used, like, for a best example, you're a bank employee. You're a bank employee. You have a three fields called just name, account number, and you have one pick list field. The pick list field is like the loan amount. Loan amount is the pick list field. Here itself there is a cleared, uncleared. You have two options. So automatically the manager comes and asks, I need all the accounts which has been not cleared. So then you automatically, just by adding a one query, you are getting these all records at a time. So for this only we are using for filtering the data. We have a bulk data. If we want to find suddenly, means we can't find easily, because for a starting time we will use 100 to 1000 records. It can easy to fetch, or else it's not an easy to fetch the record. So for that we are going through SQL query. So for that we have equals, like I have a accountant name like Valireddy, or like Valireddy Appanna one name and Valireddy Appalnadu two name. Then automatically I have to use like column percent. We write the name called percent. Valireddy Appanna person. So automatically like select name from contact where last name like as percent. If I want to get the my name, means select name from a contact where last name equals to or likes Deepak. Like that we have to provide clearly. So like to sort the records we use ordered by. For sorting and limiting results we have to use ordered by function. If we want to see the most recented created account first, we write like select name from account ordered by created date. So it will get from descending order or ascending order we can create. So it will get from the descending order, full writer descending. So then we can also use the limit. Like we have 100 accounts in our object, in our opportunity object. So I need from just 5 to 2 to 5, just that's it. I need only 3 records in between 2 and 5. So then we have to select um, like say select name from opportunity, limit 5 and offset 2. So it will reach only 5 records skipping the first 2. So if you want to skip some limitations, so then we use limit and offset. Means it will skip the first 2 orders, then it will go through the 5 after 5. Like see right now I will give some, I have 50 accounts. I will give off limit as 50, limit as not 50. 50 means there is no records. So going through limit as a 30 and offset is 25. So after 25 to 30, everything after 25 it will count the 30 records and it will give the 30 records for us. And like this is for only for a single object. So if you want to get the query from the child object, like see working with the related objects also allowed in our SQL. If we need all contact related to an account, we can use a subquery. Simply we will call to getting the data from another object to this object. We use like a subquery. So like see select name, select last name from contacts from account. That's it. Your writing from parent to child is not a big task. It is an easy task. See like if we want to access records fields in a child query, we use dot notation. Just in dot notation, select first name, last name, account dot name from contact. So automatically with the dot notation, whenever you are getting a parent, from the parent you are getting child, means you don't need anything else. If else it is a standard, means you have to use underscore r. For like it's from standard we don't need to write anything. Whenever we coming to mention with the child to parent, so then account we have to use dot notation. Like we have some aggregating functions and grouping SQL supports aggregate functions. Means the SQL will support the aggregate functions like count, min, average, maximum, group by to find number of accounts per industry. Like I have an industry called as agriculture. Select industry, count ID from account, group by industry. So automatically here what I want to do, by the industry field it will group all the accounts and it will give the accounts for us. So like using SQL in Apex. We can also use in Apex also, because mostly the SOQLs are used in Apex. Because to write a trigger and to write an updation, to write a queries, for everything we will use SOQL. And SOQL is frequently used with Apex code only, maximum instance usually. In admin it is a less time. So we use like list of account list is equals to, we have to always mention within the square boxes. Select name from account where industry is equals to banking. That's it. After that, semicolon. We know that. Like we have some best practices like what governor limits awareness, like always use a limit. We know that everywhere we have some limitations also, and avoiding following the governor rules and avoiding the SOQL injections. Like whenever you are using dynamic queries in Apex, always bind variable to avoid injection attacks and everything. These all things using query in a planning tool, which helps like always write the query above the for loop. It helps much more for you. This helps to analyze query performance and optimize execution time also. This is about the SOQL, and it is not more depth. Now we will discuss the overview of SOQL. Like see, um, I'm repeating the class. Like see, SOQL means simply it's a Salesforce object query language, and it is used to retrieve data from Salesforce objects, and it functions similar to the SOQL functions, and like basic structure from select fields from object where condition, and like filtering the where condition by using equal to, less than, rather than, like an in condition, and sorting to get a short and to get a limited type of records means we have to use the ordered by and limit. Like relationships parent to child, we can write a subquery, and child to parent we use dot notation, and we have some aggregate functions like count, sum, average, minimum, max, and group by. Like best practices, we have to use indexed fields and avoid unnecessary queries and prevent SQL injection and optimize using the query plan tool also. So now I will discuss about the small, just 10 8 to 10 interview questions related to the SQL. So simply what is SQL means? A query language to fetch records from a Salesforce object. And SQL means Salesforce object query language. So how does SQL differ from SQL? So simply the main difference from SQL to SQL is SQL is designed for only Salesforce. It does not support or join any relation object relationships. So that's the main difference between the SQL and SQL. Because SQL is used for some other functions, not only as in there also it can be used for some other products like Salesforce and everything platforms. So but SQL is only used in Salesforce object query language. So how do you query a child records from a parent object? So I previously said that using subqueries, select name, select last name from the object name, from the object which you want, from the child object, then from the parent object. So getting parents from a child means simply I said that use dot object parent object dot the field name whatever you want. So what is the record limit in SQL means the limit is 50,000 queries. We can get only 50,000 queries per limit. So in the next topic we are discussing about SOSL. Coming to the main differences like Salesforce object query language and Salesforce object search language. So SQL query specifies about objects, while SOSL performs text-based scenarios such as across multiple objects. It's perform only single objects, it performs about all the objects. So how can you optimize a SQL query? So optimize means you can reduce the, because we have a limit 50,000 records. So we have to get the data means we have to keep a limit, and avoiding the unnecessary fields which we are not want. Whatever they ask, we have to provide those only. And how to prevent SQL injection means just by using two dots. How do you use SQL inside Apex? Like inside Apex, how do you use? Like I said previously that using a square braces. Using a square braces, you can write the what the query you need, and you can place a by generating by creating a new list of object or account or whatever which object you want. You place the object name, and you have to write a nickname of the instance line of the list, and you are creating the query. So what is a query plan tool means? A tool in Salesforce to analyze query performance and suggest the optimizers. So it suggests the optimizers for us. So that's the main reason we have to go through the query plan tool. So be updated for the next class. Thank you.